Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike. Today I have a get ready with me, a chatty get ready with me, where I'm also going to be talking to you a little bit about makeup in the Netherlands, because I get quite a few comments from people asking me like, hey, can you do a video about this? Or can you perhaps do a video about this? And sometimes I just really need to disappoint, and I just wanted to sort of explain in this video how makeup sort of works over here and how I just sometimes cannot even do the things you want me to do because I simply either cannot get products or they are very expensive for me to buy. So that's why I thought I could touch upon that here. Of course, the other purpose of this video is to also try out some singles again. And I haven't used this new JCat loose shadow yet, so I want to try and play around with that. It is a really sparkly duochrome. Looks very interesting. And to make sure I have a bit of a palette that can do it all, to give me a bit of a base for this, I decided to whip out my Makeup Geek singles. So that's what I'm going to probably build a look up first and then dab this all over the lid. That is sort of what I'm hoping to do. I've got my Christmas tree up. Yay! So I will be filming some videos in front of that shortly as well. And currently there's a huge bit of sunlight making its way to sort of hopefully not ruin the video entirely. So I'm just going to get started and do my makeup for you guys. I will make sure to link all of the other products that I'm using down below. These are all products from my Shop My Stash, and I think this is another great way to show you how everything goes on. And I'm very proud of myself for this one. I've got clean brushes, you guys. I, for once, didn't forget to clean my brushes before filming a video like this. So I've got a clean makeup sponge, clean brushes. I don't know about you, but I love clean brushes. I just always forget doing it. I know, silly, so silly. But yeah, let's just get started and apply a bit of primer. So yeah, let me just get started with the topic straight away. Makeup in the Netherlands. I'm sort of inspired actually with this video by Angelica Newqvist. She did an entire video about how makeup sort of works in her country, which is Sweden. And I have to say that the Swedes, I mean, she makes it seem like you can really get much in Sweden at all because they don't have drugstores, she says. I've never been to Sweden, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, actually the situation in the Netherlands, it's improving. I feel like it's getting better, but we definitely are pulling on the shorter end of the stick here. A lot of brands that we cannot get, or that we used to be able to get, but no longer can get. So something you need to know about the Netherlands is that we're kind of a bit of a no-nonsense kind of country, and physical appearance is sort of the thing that usually comes last. I think there's a bit of a shift, probably also because of the internet and Instagram and those kind of things, that, you know, is sort of causing a bit of a shift. But traditionally, Dutch people aren't that fussed about their appearance. Like, you will see people walking down the street with just freshly washed hair, still damp from the shower. Like, that sort of, like, it's quite, and I know from reading some expat blogs and having talked to expats myself, like when I was a student and working with them when I was first starting teaching, that's something that they find very strange, that in other countries you just wouldn't go out the door if you don't look like in tip-top shape, and over here no one really cares. I believe that when it comes to makeup in the Netherlands, the only thing here that sort of sells well is mascara. That's like the only thing that really sells, and maybe a bit of foundation and concealer, but we're not that outgoing when it comes to our makeup purchases. And that also means that in terms of brands being available here, we don't really get that much as in terms of offerings. Of course, everybody sees me do the Essence and Catrice videos, and a lot of people are very jealous that we get these products. But that's about as far as it goes. Everything else you can find anywhere else in the world first before it comes here. I swear to God. Especially like bigger name brands like Urban Decay or Too Faced. Like those brands, like we are very behind when it comes to those kind of brands. And for a while, they weren't even available in the country. Like I remember tracking down Urban Decay palettes like by all means possible, because we just didn't get them, like just not at all. Even for a while when the brand was already available here. So I sort of get from people watching those videos that they're like, oh, I wish we could get them straight away. But what people don't realize is that that goes, especially if you're in the US, that exactly that goes for a lot of other countries around the world with a lot of the US brands, because you get those first. I really want to try that new Maybelline Radiance foundation that they're releasing. It should have come out in November, but it's only available on US Amazon. And when I go to Amazon, it says will not ship to the Netherlands. So what am I gonna do? You know, I would like to try that. And sometimes I think we did get the Dream Urban cover first. That first came to England, and I happened to be in London just after that release, so I was able to try that out as one of the first people, so that was nice. But here in the Netherlands, like, it's shocking how long it can take for product to come our way. There have been so many times where I watch US or UK bloggers or YouTubers talk about new product that they can get their hands on, like, hey, this is a new release from Bourjois, or this is a new release from Maybelline, and then there isn't even word. Like, there isn't even anyone who's able to tell you when it will come here. Like, they're just not. Like, even with some of the Urban Decay stuff, that new Stay Naked foundation that they came out with over the summertime, it had a launch date, you guys. It had a launch date for the Netherlands. And before I could actually find it in store, it was a week and a half later. Because it still had to be shipped from the US to Europe. But that was just really frustrating, and we have this time and time and time again. Too Faced Tutti Frutti was exclusive to Ulta for a year before it came anywhere else. And I mean, if you're in the US, you're like, yeah, but you can buy stuff from Ulta. No, I can't buy stuff from Ulta. In fact, if I go to the Ulta website, I get bad gateway access denied. It's like I haven't seen anything like that since the 90s, back when the internet sometimes had websites breaking down on you, you know, that time period. And Ulta just won't let you access their website. Like, you can't even view it. I can't even browse it if I'm not in US or Canadian territory. I just can't. And that's incredibly frustrating, because people go like, yeah, it's available. I know Catrice, for instance, is available at Ulta, but I would not be able to tell you what is different between what we have over here and what you can get in the States, because I can't even access the Ulta website. Like, I can't see it. I just can't. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that that's the case for me, and that even the brands that I'm already showing you, like, there's a lot that we can get online. I'm not gonna lie. We have some good like online stores that cater to like more unknown brands. Like, I like shopping from Boozy Shop or Makeup Spot, and they are sort of websites that give you access to brands that are very hard to get here. So they will sell Wet n Wild and they will sell Milani, but at a premium price, because that's the other thing, is that everything is going to be marked up. Everybody's talking about how affordable Milani is. Well, over here, those Milani square palettes, by now on Beauty Bay, those retail for 30 euros. If you get them from Walmart, or I believe even the Milani website in the US, you can get them for $15. That's like 13 euros. Over here, they go for twice as much. Which, I mean, and if you know that, is it then still worth it? So I look at makeup from a completely different perspective, I think, than other YouTubers perhaps. Because I know that if I want to get my hand on that product, I either have to pay for shipping. That's one thing. You also have to pay for shipping. Depending on where the package comes from, I will have to pay customs. Which will instantly make things just a lot more expensive. And that's something, you know, is makeup then still worth it? I remember when Anastasia released the Modern Renaissance and everybody was saying how affordable it was, and then it came here and it was like, you guys, it's $20 more expensive over here than it is in the US. No, it's not affordable. Because in the US, those were $42 to begin with, I think. They're now upping the price a little bit. But over here, they retail for 55 or like 56 euros. That's $60, you guys. That's a markup. Luckily, Too Faced and Urban Decay aren't too bad about the markup. I think Too Faced just changed the dollar sign into a euro sign, which means you still pay more because a dollar is cheaper than a euro. But, I mean, that's not too badly, you know? You still pay for about the same, because if you go to the US, you still have to pay for taxes when you're in the store, and we don't, so it's sort of like included in the price. So I sort of think that we pay about as much for those brands. But brands, because very often what happens here as well, in the US you have Sephora, Ulta, and a lot of brands will be available from like different stores, different retailers. So there are like 2 or 3 different places you can go to. Especially if you go to like a city like New York, there's a lot of different places you can go to find the products, but we can't. Over here, for instance, Urban Decay is only licensed to be sold by one retailer. Just one, no more. Wow, in this sunlight, I'm looking super pale. I do apologize. Maybe I can change the settings in a bit, but yeah, I usually try to film when it's a bit cloudy, and it was, but it was raining super badly as well, and I didn't want that to interfere with my audio. You have to make choices, you guys. But yeah, what I was saying, that Urban Decay, for instance, is only sold from one retailer. The same goes for Too Faced. The same goes for Bare Minerals. That's a brand we just got, you guys. Bare Minerals just launched. Has never been available before in the Netherlands. Like, Bare Minerals. If there's one brand that I can think of that has like staples and standard products, it would be that. And the same goes for like other major brands, like Jeffree Star is available from one particular retailer. You can't just go out to like 5 different Sephoras and still see if something is in stock, because very often as well, because they are exclusive brands, they are only available in certain stores. So you have to go to some of the bigger cities to even find it. You know, it's a thing. And before, like for a while, Sephora US opened their website to European customers, and that was great. I mean, we could get all of the products, all of the stuff, and then the European Union changed their privacy laws, which a lot of the US companies actually disagreed with. So for a very long time, there were like, you know, websites being shut down that you could no longer access because they weren't in line with the European rules anymore. And Sephora decided, rather than to adhere to European law, which of course they don't have to because they're the US website, that they would now just blatantly redirect everyone to the French website. If you don't speak French, you're doomed, because there's no English setting on that website because it's French. And the shipping is actually more, like, of course with the US I would have to pay customs, and now I don't. But over here in Europe, Sephora doesn't carry all of the same brands as the US does. It's getting better, it's getting better. Like brands, like I know Pat McGrath has now finally made its way over here as well. We can get Huda Beauty and Kat Von D. Tarte is available as well, but they didn't used to be. For a very long time, these brands just weren't available. And so I can get things online, but the French website has sort of online stock and shop stock. So some products you can only pick up in store. And of course, I mean, Paris is 5 hours away, and I know for a lot of people in the US, it's like, oh, it's 5 hours away. To Europeans, especially in the Netherlands, I need to travel through 2 different countries, not states, 2 different countries with different languages. But thank God we all have the same currency by now, because again, different perspectives. So yeah, last summer I went to Paris precisely so I could shop at Sephora. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty much the sole reason for that trip, was so I could shop some makeup that is otherwise pretty hard to get. And this is the thing that I mean to say, like, the differences with availability, price point. Over here, major difference as well, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot exchange makeup once it's been used. If you get a product as a present and you're like, oh, that's not my cup of tea, you can return it, but it has to be unused. If it's been used, you can't exchange it anymore. And that's something that I've seen so many YouTubers say, like, oh yeah, I bought that palette and then I tried it 3 times and then I didn't like it, so I returned it. And I'm like, they cannot resell used makeup, which is why we cannot return it. That's precisely the reason why stores over here won't let you return used makeup, because they can't resell it. I mean, over here, I think that if you buy a new, like a Dior foundation and you throw away the box, you can no longer return it, because then they can't resell it because they won't have that box. So you do need to have everything original and all that. So I don't know, it's just, it's so different. And I think that because it's more expensive and because it's, you know, you can't return things, you become, I wouldn't say necessarily less wasteful, but I do think that it sort of helps with, you know, deciding about what you want to buy, and that it's not like this like throwaway culture, which I think the US has a little bit more than we do over here. I mean, you just have to think about your purchase. You're not just going to splurge 65 euros on a YSL foundation if you don't think the shade is going to be right. So I was very happy when I bought one last year, and they actually gave me like a tester of the shade that I bought to try at home before opening the actual foundation, so I could still return it if the shade didn't wear well, so if it oxidized throughout the day. That was a service that was a first for me where a store did that. Because over here, they usually just let you buy something and then that's about it, you know? And once it's used, you can't return it. The only time I've been able to return something that was like broken was because I ordered something online, it came and one of the shades was broken. That was the Naked Heat. They did let me exchange that. So those kind of things, if it's like not your fault, then you can return it. But in any other situation, you can't. You're not allowed to. They won't let you return an eyeshadow palette that's been used. Where's my brush? Here's my brush. They won't let you return that eyeshadow palette that you bought and that you used 3 times and then go like, oh, I don't fancy this anymore. Nope, not gonna fly. This is, by the way, some people were asking me what I thought of the Benefit Cookie highlighter. I do really like it, but you do have to like a little bit of glitter and sparkle in your highlighter, I do have to say, because this definitely has a bit more glitter into it than what I'm used to, but I really like this on my face. I think it's gorgeous. Which is why I kept it in my Shop My Stash for another round. So yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to say. Like, there's a lot, like what people say, like, oh, I'm so jealous that you can get the new Catrice and Essence products first, and we don't even know when those are coming. Well, that goes for me and pretty much every single brand on the planet. Like, Essence and Catrice is the only 2 brands out there that I can sort of get first. Everything else, I mean, apart from like Too Faced, like waiting a year until that Tutti Frutti collection was available anywhere else. I mean, I get it. I mean, that's marketing and that's fine. But after a year, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to do a lot of reviews on those products anymore. And that also means that even if I were to get PR, I wouldn't get it first because PR companies are very sort of like country focused. So Too Faced Netherlands didn't send out PR from the Tutti Frutti collection until it was available over here. So I hope you understand that that's one of the reasons why I sometimes don't have product, why I sometimes don't, because either I don't have access to it or it's very expensive for me to get my hands on it. It usually goes out of stock very easily because we can only get it from one place. So that's sometimes, you know, it just doesn't really help. What I do have to say is that what I hear some YouTubers say sometimes is like, yeah, but you know, makeup has a certain like time span in which you can review it and do videos with it. And that's something I don't believe in. So I don't believe that, like, if I'm still interested in, for instance, I quite like that pineapple and berry palette from the Tutti Frutti collection. I'm still umming and ahhing about those because I don't feel that the shades are unique enough to my collection, but the quality seems really nice. So I did swatch them in store. And I might eventually pick that up. And if I pick that up, I'm going to create content with it at some point in time, because I don't really believe in, of course, I get it. Like, if you really want to be like first and like the fastest growing channel on YouTube, you need to be there first. Like, you need to get your products and your reviews out there first. But that's the thing, I will never be that person because I don't receive a whole lot of PR. And that's the only way in which you're going to get first dibs nowadays on YouTube. So if you're in it for the traction and like growing really quickly, without PR, you are pretty much lost. And that's something that I don't want to do to myself. I find PR very stressful. I did an entire video about that as well. So that's just something that will not happen for me. So for me, this channel is all about using what I have, finding the products that I like to use, and that sometimes means that it takes a bit more time than what some of you might want me to do, because I cannot get the products yet, or if I can get the products, they can be very expensive, or they're only available to one retailer. Like in Europe, Lime Crime is only legally available from one retailer, and that's Cult Beauty. That's the only place in all of Europe where you can buy it, and they don't even have physical stores. I mean, they may have like smaller resellers, I'm sure, but that's like the only major one. So it's so frustrating and so sort of silly to me when people go like, oh, can you do a full face of this? Can you do a full face of that? And I'm like, the Elf website was shut down for apparently no reason, and the only website I can still find is the UK one, and they don't ship to the Netherlands, so no. But by now, Elf is available via Douglas. It's marked up a little bit, I'd say. I think it is a little bit more expensive. Not all of the products, but some, it seems. So I did manage to pick up some Elf products by now. So that full face of Elf will be coming to you sometime in 2020. I've got it planned for January. So let's hope that that can happen. But yeah, it just, I don't know why. Sometimes products also disappear for no reason. We used to have Sephora. Used to. Then their lease let up and they didn't renew it and they just disappeared because they weren't making enough money over here. So, and then also they were like a shop-in-shop concept within a department store, and then that department store also went bankrupt a couple of years later. So that sort of Sephora thing was like the beginning of the end for that entire store. But yeah, it was just, yeah. And that was quite painful because you're like, yeah, we had Sephora, we had Makeup Forever, we had Too Faced, we had Urban Decay, we had NARS. And now in the past couple of years, those brands are slowly making its way to the Dutch market again. So we now can get NARS again, we can get Urban Decay again, we can get Too Faced again. Yes, no Makeup Forever yet, I think. Maybe at like professional makeup stores, I'm not sure. Makeup Forever can be quite hard to find over here in Europe if you don't have access to Sephora. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you're like, yeah. And then sometimes we also don't get all of the releases, because that's another thing. Like last year, that round palette that Urban Decay did, I would have loved to get my hands on it, but it didn't come to Europe. Not at all. And then nowadays, because Urban Decay is now officially available in all these different countries, they have official websites. So if I type in urbandecay.com, I'm automatically rerouted to the Dutch website, and I can no longer even access the US one. And then also like a lot of US websites, if you then go looking like, could I place an order and have it sent to a friend? Like I tried doing that with Lorac. But then it says, you need to have a credit card issued by an American bank to place an order on this website. And you're like, I'm lost. I'm just lost. I did find that Lorac is now available via iHerb. They have like a sub website. So Lorac is available again. I bought a few things off of Nordstrom, but Nordstrom doesn't have a lot of stock, or maybe it's not visible if you're in the Netherlands. That could be the case, but that's now available via iHerb. So you need to use every trick in the book to track down product. And then there's the shipping and the customs and all that. That's another reason why you haven't seen a Black Friday haul from me yet. Because yeah, I'm still waiting on an order. ColourPop has, like my package is still somewhere in California. I placed that order almost 2 weeks ago. It's not even left the United States. Like, and I already said in a comment, like, yeah, I do want to do a Black Friday haul, but it could be that I'm not even sure whether I can do it within 2020. In my planning for December, I've put it the weekend before Christmas. Fingers crossed I have everything by then, because I'm still waiting on that ColourPop order to come in. And in the past, it has taken 6 weeks for a ColourPop order to reach me. So I hope that's not the case. But yeah, I hope it's going to be sent over to Europe soon. Then it will probably spend another week in like customs before it is released. Then I know how much customs I will have to pay over that order, because I definitely did spend a bit more money than what you're legally allowed to import without fees. And all that jazz. So yeah, it's everything takes time. Everything takes time. And that's why I just sort of gave up on trying to be the first and like trying to get things out very quickly, because there's just no use. I've tried. It's just too stressful, and I'm doing this for fun as a hobby. All right, rant over. I want to focus on eyeshadow now, so I'm going to zoom you in, and we are going to be playing with some Makeup Geek singles and a JCat loose shadow, which I didn't bring my glitter glue. Maybe I just need to lay down another layer of my eyeshadow primer then, because I'll probably need something sticky. Yeah, I'm going to be focusing on some of these neutrals here, especially this one, I think. Let me tell you what this is, because once I zoom you in and I move too much, it will go out of focus. That's Latte, but maybe also this cooler tone underneath it, which is Brownie Points. And then over here, I've got Shimma Shimma. Yeah. That's this one in the corner is Shimma Shimma. That's probably going to be my inner corner highlight. And maybe we'll do a fun pop of something on the lower lash line, but I want this to be the main star. So I'm just going to set up a bit of a crease, and I'm going to fast forward you through the eye look. So the eye look is done. I had to pull in a little bit of steampunk over here to really make sure I had a bit more of depth going on in this look. Ooh. But this eyeshadow by JCat, ooh, it's stunning. And I only used fingers. I didn't wet this. I didn't wet my brush, and I felt I have little to no fallout on my face, which I think is quite a feat, because this is quite a shimmering particle, like loose pigment. But this is stunning and super multi-dimensional, and I think it looks really pretty all over the lid. I may have to blend it just a tad. And then I think we have a nice base, so I'm going to set my face, do mascara, and then I'll be back for lips, because there I have something fun to tell you about as well. Right, so that is the eye look finished, and I am quite taken with this JCat eyeshadow, I have to say. It's looking really, really stunning. For lipstick, I mentioned this in, I think, my Shop My Stash last week, where I mentioned that my custom Bite lipstick, the nude in this case, reminded me a lot of the description of this new baby, which is the True Velvet lipstick by Lisa Eldrige in Velvet Muse. And the minute I read this shade description on this, I was like, ooh, that sounds like my kind of nude. And if I put them side by side, let me twist this up a little bit further. Can you see that they sort of have, like, they look very similar in the packaging? I already swatched them side by side. They are not identical, but I thought I could show you this in this video and then apply Velvet Muse, because that's the newest one. So that's the Bite one. This is a cream formula, by the way. And the Lisa Eldrige lipstick is of course a matte, so that might also change the color a little bit. But I feel that the Lisa Eldrige one has a bit more pink to it perhaps. It's definitely a bit lighter, but I do have to say that this Bite lipstick pulls differently on my lips, I feel, than what it looks like in a swatch. But since this is brand new to me, I do want to put this one on my lips. So let's see what this looks like, because I haven't put this on my face yet. So that's what Velvet Muse looks like on me, and I think it looks really nice. It also goes nicely with this eye look, actually. That's why I picked these two, actually, because I was hoping it would go nicely with this look. I do have to say that my By Beauty lipstick is still more perfect as a nude on me. It just works better with a variety of looks. I think this is a bit warm, and the By Beauty one that I made myself is perhaps a bit more cool toned, which fits my complexion just a hair better. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video wasn't too ranty for you. I definitely have a tendency to go on a bit of a rant about these topics that I picked to talk about in these videos. But definitely let me know in a comment down below what makeup is like in your country, because I'm pretty sure it's different for everyone. And yeah, without further ado, we've come to the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you'd want to. That's completely up to you. I don't care what you do, but it would help me out if you like this video to show me a bit of loving. And then I hope to see you again for a new video, because I make new videos 3 times a week. So I'll be back very, very soon. Bye.